Hollywood is grappling with concerns over free speech and censorship after comedian Jimmy Kimmel's show was abruptly pulled from the air over his monologue that mentioned the murder of Charlie Kirk. Late night legend Jay Leno was asked about the suspension this afternoon on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
You don't get canceled saying popular things. You get canceled, sometimes, usually it's the truth that winds up getting canceled. So we'll see what happens. Well, it's a comedian talking. If you don't like it, don't watch it. I mean, it doesn't seem...
That's the market.
Well, that's the market. I mean, let the people decide.
I'm joined now by Peter White, the executive editor of television at Dateline. Peter, Leno seemed pretty unconcerned there. Deadline, excuse me. What reaction are you hearing from the rest of the industry today from all this?
Yeah, interesting that Jay Leno was saying those things, because David Letterman, his nemesis and rival back in the day, was had a few stronger words earlier comparing Brendan Carr, the FCC chairman, to a mob boss from The Godfather. It's been a really strange 24 hours. I don't think anyone quite expected this. I know even within Disney, they'd hoped that they could resolve this so that Kimmel could go on the air. But yeah, I think they decided it was probably for the best not to and try and figure this out before things got worse.
So can you walk us through the chain of events on how this suspension all went down? Who initially made the call?
Yeah, absolutely. So yesterday there were plenty of meetings throughout the day across Disney and Jimmy Kimmel, and it got to the desk of Bob Iger, and he, along with essentially his television boss, a woman named Dana Walden, made the decision, saying that they had basically talked to Jimmy about what he was going to say on the show, and Jimmy Kimmel refused to apologize. He was planning to address the controversy, but he wasn't planning to apologize. His view is that essentially his words have been taken out of context. So yeah, they essentially, between Bob Iger and Dana Walden, they decided that they best not let him on air right now, and they can try and figure out if there is a possible path for him to return. But I think they felt it was just a bit too close to the filming of the show and to put it on to try and solve this.
And I understand there was other factors at stake here involving some of the affiliates as well, correct?
Yeah, essentially Nexstar, which is one of the largest station groups, said that they were going to preempt Jimmy Kimmel regardless of ABC's decision, which came a little bit later. And then Sinclair, another local station group, said the same, and they went a little bit stronger. I think ultimately this is a business deal. Nexstar has some business in front of the Trump administration. They would like to close a big merger that requires a change in the law that the FCC would have to undertake, and they just decided that this wasn't particularly something or someone they wanted on the air while they were trying to do that. It all comes down to money, essentially.
And Brendan Carr, the head of the FCC, indicated that he isn't done yet. He has his eyes on The View, the popular talk show there, and possibly Jimmy Fallon on NBC. What are you hearing from those camps?
Yeah, I think everyone is worried, the people at The View and the other late night hosts, including Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers. The irony with Jimmy Fallon is he's arguably the most hospitable to the slightly more conservative crowd. He had Greg Gutfeld, a Fox News host, on his show recently. That is a little bit worrying for NBC, because if Jimmy Kimmel does not return to the air, and Stephen Colbert, as we know, is ending The Late Show in May, that could leave them being the only place that has late night on broadcast television.
So where does the industry go from here? Are you hearing rumblings that comedians and even writers are having to rethink their jokes or what they're featuring on their shows?
I don't think anyone wants to rethink their jokes or say that they're not going to say something. I'm sure a few will. I think what will happen if Disney does keep with this suspension of Jimmy Kimmel is some creative people, some talent might not work with the company. We're already starting to see that. Some sort of people like Damon Lindelof, one of the co-creators of Lost, saying that essentially he wouldn't work with Disney until this was done. So it could have a knock-on effect for them if they're trying to lure talent. And I think in terms of late night, I think we're starting to see this already. However much we mentioned the local TV stations, more people watch Jimmy Kimmel on YouTube than watch him on broadcast television. And I think you're seeing the direction of travel, that some of these newer formats and younger people, they're essentially doing this online. They're doing this on YouTube, on Instagram and TikTok. So that's probably the direction of travel, however depressing that is for people who still like to watch television in the corner of the room.
Peter White with Deadline. Thank you so much.